I'm going to talk about large language models. I think you probably heard about models from OpenAI and other places, Google and Meta and Facebook, um, like GPT-2, GPT-3, Chat GPT, which is GPT 3.5, and as Nate said, GPT-4 is now out. And these are all neural networks. Neural networks operate like a Markov process. And I got some feedback that not everybody knows about Markov processes, but it's also called a random walk. It's choosing the next word at random, not completely at random. It has something called attention, and it's learned what words go together, and it uses those to create the language that we see. So you submit a prompt like write a multiple choice item about psychometrics, specifically about the assumptions of 3PL, and you send that prompt to one of these engines. Hopefully it's not GPT-2, but if it's GPT-3 or 3.5 or 4 or BARD, well, regardless of the engine, it'll return a textual response, and it'll actually be an item if it's one of the more recent models. And one thing that's really, really, really important to emphasize is that the way that the models work, where they're randomly choosing the next token to put together into a response that's related to the prompt, is that they're really good at being storytellers. But there's not necessarily an equal strength in being truth tellers. And some people are optimistic that as we build bigger models, this will just solve itself. Those people have evidence in GPT-4 where supposedly GPT-4 is more truthful than previous models. But it seems to me like it's a hard problem to solve. The breakthrough that allowed these models was the realization, and this breakthrough happened 6 years ago, in 2017, that attention was sufficient to build really good responses, attention and really, really large training data sets. And so I think there's probably going to have to be another breakthrough or two to solve the problem of these large language models hallucinating information. And OpenAI is probably gotten the most market share, if you will. But there's lots of other rivals. Google, the researchers who published the attention paper were actually from Google Brain, and Google will have things. I think one of the reasons why OpenAI is so popular is that they have designed themselves to be open. They have designed themselves to supply this technology to the world, whereas Google developed this technology to make its own products better. So I do think that there's something to be said for OpenAI. And one of the things that makes these models better, and one of the ways that GPT-3 is different from GPT-2, it's not the only way, but one of the ways is that there's been this reinforcement learning from human feedback. And supposedly there's been 12,000 hours of this reinforcement learning that produced the latest models from OpenAI. And that's a huge amount of effort. That's about what is that? 10 person years, a person decade. But that's probably within the grasp of large organizations like Google and Facebook. And so I think we'll probably see models. I think, in fact, BARD is quite capable if you haven't tried that. So although I'm going to talk about the OpenAI models, I think this is probably something that will be true of most large language models, at least the ones that use the same technology.